Round 8. Memphis, Tennessee, June 8, 2002. Mike Tyson throws a desperate right hand, misses, completely off balance, stumbles forward like a drunk man. Lennox Lewis doesn't move, just stands there, watching. Then, for a fraction of a second, the camera catches Lennox's eyes. And in that microsecond, you see something that changes everything. Not fear, not excitement, not even satisfaction. Recognition. The recognition that the most feared man in boxing history is standing right in front of him, completely helpless, broken, finished. Lennox steps forward, throws a right hand. It lands clean. Mike's legs buckle. He falls face first onto the canvas, doesn't even try to get up, just lies there, motionless. The referee doesn't count. He just waves it off. Fight over. Knockout. But this wasn't just a knockout. This was an execution. And Lennox knew it was coming 3 rounds earlier. This is the story of how Lennox Lewis saw Mike Tyson's soul break, and what that moment revealed about both men. But to understand what Lennox saw in round 8, you need to understand what happened before these two men ever stepped into a ring together. Because this fight wasn't just about boxing. It was about legacy, desperation, and the death of a myth. Memphis, June 2002. The fight everyone said would never happen is finally happening. Mike Tyson, 35 years old, former undisputed heavyweight champion, the most feared fighter of his generation, the man who made grown men quit before the bell rang. The baddest man on the planet. Except, he's not that man anymore. By 2002, Mike Tyson is a shell. Prison destroyed him. Robin Givens destroyed him. Don King destroyed him. The world destroyed him. What's left is a name, a reputation, a ghost of what he used to be. His last real win was in 1996, 6 years ago. Since then, loss to Evander Holyfield, disqualification for biting, loss to Lennox Lewis in their first attempt that got postponed, bankruptcy, chaos, humiliation. But Mike needs money, desperately. He's millions in debt. His team convinces him he can still win. They lie to him. Tell him Lennox is old, slow, vulnerable. Mike believes them because he has to. Because if he can't fight, what else does he have? Lennox Lewis is different. 36 years old, undisputed heavyweight champion, 6'5", 250 pounds of pure technical mastery. He's not the most exciting fighter, not the most charismatic, but he's the best. Methodical, disciplined, complete. Lennox has been chasing this fight for years, not because he fears Mike, because Mike is the name, the legend, the validation. Beat Mike Tyson, cement your legacy forever. Simple. The press conference before the fight becomes infamous. Mike attacks Lennox, literally, bites his leg. Chaos erupts, security everywhere. Mike screaming, threatening, completely unhinged. The world sees a madman. Lennox sees something else. He sees desperation. He sees a man who knows he's going to lose and is trying to convince himself otherwise through rage. In an interview after, Lennox says something quiet, almost sad. He's trying to psych himself up, not me, himself. Fight night arrives. the Pyramid Arena in Memphis. Mike walks out first. No music, no theatrics, just walks. His face is blank, empty. This is not the Mike Tyson who terrorized the division. This is a man going through the motions. Lennox walks out calm, confident, almost bored. He's studied Mike for years, watched every fight, every pattern, every weakness. He knows exactly what's going to happen tonight. The tail of the tape tells the story. Lennox has 6 inches of reach advantage, 4 inches of height, better conditioning, better team, better preparation. On paper, this is a massacre waiting to happen. The bell rings for round 1.
Round 8 begins. Mike comes out like a man with nothing to lose, which is accurate. He throws everything. Wild hooks, desperate combinations, all power, no technique, because technique abandoned him 6 rounds ago. Lennox doesn't even look concerned. He slips, he blocks, he waits. This is the moment he's been waiting for, not just to win, but to end the myth, to kill the legend, to show the world that Mike Tyson is just a man. Mike throws a right hand, big, wild, off balance. It's the punch of a desperate fighter, a fighter who knows this is his last chance. Lennox sees it coming from a mile away, doesn't move, just lets Mike miss completely. Mike's momentum carries him forward. He stumbles, almost falls. And there it is, the moment. Lennox looks at Mike, really looks at him. And in Lennox's eyes, you see it, the recognition, the realization, the end. Mike is standing right there, defenseless, exhausted, beaten. The most feared man in boxing is helpless. Lennox doesn't hesitate. He throws a right hand, perfect technique, perfect timing, perfect placement. It lands on Mike's temple, clean. Mike's legs turn to liquid, his eyes roll back. He falls forward, face first, onto the canvas. His arms don't even try to break the fall. He just drops, like a building being demolished. The impact is sickening. His face hits the canvas hard. Blood, sweat. The crowd gasps. Some people scream. Some just stare in shock. The referee immediately waves it off. No count, no 8 count, just over. Mike Tyson is unconscious before he hits the ground. Lennox doesn't celebrate, doesn't raise his hands, doesn't do a victory lap. He just stands there, looking down at Mike, and there's no joy in his eyes, no satisfaction, just that same recognition. He didn't just beat Mike Tyson, he buried him, and everyone watching knows it. Mike lies on the canvas for almost a minute. His corner rushes in. They try to help him up. He can barely stand. His legs won't work. His eyes are glazed. He doesn't know where he is. When they finally get him to his corner, Mike sits on the stool, head down, defeated, broken. The camera catches his face, and there's nothing there. No anger, no determination, no fire, just emptiness. This is not the face of a fighter who lost a fight. This is the face of a man who lost himself.
The post-fight interviews are brutal. Lennox is professional, respectful, says all the right things. Mike is a great champion. It was an honor to fight him. But if you listen closely, there's something else in his voice. Not pity, not quite, but understanding. The understanding that he just ended a man's career, a man's identity. Mike doesn't speak, can't speak. His team releases a statement later. Mike will take time to evaluate his future. Translation: he's done. The world reacts with a mix of satisfaction and sadness. Satisfaction because Mike Tyson, the bully, the criminal, the monster, finally got what he deserved. Sadness because Mike Tyson, the phenomenon, the myth, the legend, is officially dead. Boxing analysts talk about the technical mastery Lennox showed, the perfect game plan, the flawless execution. They call it a masterclass. But that's not what this fight was about. This fight was about Lennox Lewis proving he was the best heavyweight in the world. And he did that, definitively, brutally, completely. But more than that, this fight was about the death of Mike Tyson as we knew him. Not just as a boxer, as an idea, as a symbol, as a force of nature. For 15 years, Mike Tyson was fear incarnate. He was what happened when you combined raw power with psychological warfare. He broke men before they stepped in the ring. He made champions quit. He made the impossible possible. But Lennox Lewis didn't fear him. Never did. And that's what killed Mike Tyson. Because when you build your entire identity on intimidation and someone refuses to be intimidated, what are you left with? Technique? Mike never had elite technique. Strategy? Mike's strategy was hit them hard and they'll quit. Discipline? Mike lost that when Cuss died. Lennox took away Mike's power, not his punching power, his psychological power, the fear, the aura, the myth. And once that was gone, what remained was just a 35-year-old who hadn't properly trained in years, who didn't want to be there, who knew he was going to lose. Round 8 wasn't when Mike Tyson lost the fight. Round 8 was when Mike Tyson stopped being Mike Tyson. Years later, Lennox Lewis would be asked about that moment in round 8, the moment right before the knockout. What was he thinking? His answer was simple, honest, almost sad. I knew he was done. Not done for the night. Done. He didn't want to be there. You could see it. He was going through the motions. The Mike Tyson I studied, the Mike Tyson I prepared for, that man wasn't in the ring with me. What was in the ring was someone who used to be Mike Tyson, and I knew it before I threw the punch. That's the tragedy of this fight. It wasn't competitive. It wasn't close. It wasn't even really a fight. It was a public execution. The world watched Mike Tyson die. Not literally, but symbolically. The myth, the legend, the fear. And Lennox Lewis was the executioner. Not because he was cruel, but because he was better, and because someone had to be. Mike Tyson never fought again after Memphis. How could he? What would be the point? He proved everything there was to prove in the 1980s. Everything after was just delaying the inevitable. And in Memphis, the inevitable happened. Lennox Lewis went on to defend his title a few more times, retired undefeated as a heavyweight champion, the best of his era, maybe one of the best ever. But ask anyone about Lennox Lewis and they'll always bring up Memphis, always bring up Mike Tyson, always bring up that moment. Because that moment defined both men. For Lennox, it was validation, proof that he was everything he claimed to be, the best, the most complete, the man who ended Iron Mike. For Mike, it was the end, the final nail in the coffin of a career that should have ended years earlier, the moment where the world stopped pretending and accepted the truth. Mike Tyson was finished. But here's what people forget. In that moment in round 8, when Lennox looked at Mike and saw a broken man, he also saw himself. saw what happens when you stay too long, saw what happens when you can't let go. Maybe that's why Lennox retired soon after. Maybe he saw Mike lying on that canvas and thought, that could be me in a few years if I don't know when to stop. Because that's the real lesson of Memphis. Not that Lennox was great, everyone knew that. Not that Mike was washed, everyone suspected that. The lesson is that legends don't get to choose how they end. The sport chooses for them. And if you don't leave on your own terms, you leave on your back, face down on a canvas, in front of millions, with nothing left but memories of who you used to be. Mike Tyson learned that lesson the hard way in Memphis. Lennox Lewis learned it by watching and made sure it never happened to him. That's the difference between a champion and a legend. A champion knows when to fight. A legend knows when to stop. June 8, 2002, Memphis, Tennessee, Round 8. The moment Lennox Lewis saw Mike Tyson's soul break, and the moment two legacies were defined forever.